All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, with great certainty and with great surety, we tell you that you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the Bible. All right, man. So what I want to get into today real quick is just some news, man. I just want to report on this real quick. All right. This is coming from Newsweek. All right. And this is published, as you see right here, May 11th, 2026. All right. And that's today. All right. So this news is coming in today. All right. So let me read this article. All right. To let you know what's happening, what's going on, and what time we're living in, man. We're watching. We're setting up. We're sitting upon our tower, man. We're letting you know what's going on, man. All right. So let's get into it. All right. So this says this is from the Newsweek. Iran war update. UAE involved militarily. All right. As Trump says ceasefire collapsing. All right. So let's get into it. All right. The United Arab Emirates, the UAE, has secretly carried out military strikes on Iran. The Wall Street Journal reported on Monday, citing people familiar with the matter. The involvement of the UAE would represent a significant shift in the balance of the war, bringing a well-armed Gulf Arab state directly into combat against Iran. Woo! All right. So it says the reporting comes as President Donald Trump warned Monday that the ceasefire with Iran is on life support, raising fears that the 10-week-old conflict could intensify after a brief, fragile pause. And of course, man, what you thought, things were going to get better? How many times are we going to tell you that things are going to intensify? Tensions are only going to increase, man. All right? Because they keep talking about peace deals, but the scriptures say when they shall say peace and safety, then shall sudden destruction come. And they shall not be able to escape. Things are going to intensify and intensify and intensify until those nuclear missiles are shooting sky high, man. From one end to the earth to the other. No peace is coming, man. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, and they shall not be able to escape, man. All right, things have to intensify. Tensions have to increase between nations for prophecy to be fulfilled. We've been telling you, man. For years and years, day in and day out, making these videos, going out to the highways and hedges, warning you, telling you, right? So it says, let's keep reading. It says, Newsweek reached out to the Pentagon, the White House, and the UAE Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Monday. All right. It says why it matters. It says the war has already disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. Renewed fighting, especially if UAE involvement becomes public, could further paralyze energy flows and raise economic pressure on the United States and its allies. And you have to understand that, the UAE doing this, all right, this is all order coming from on high, all right, from the satanic Illuminati Jewish banking families, all right, mainly from the Rothschilds, all right, because a country can't even attack another country unless it's given the green light from the Rothschilds. All right, the bankers create all wars. All right, so this earth was already in a chokehold economically. All right, as you see, as we just read right here, it says could further paralyze energy flows and raise economic pressure on the United States and its allies. So, you know, now that the fact that the UAE is involved, all right, that chokehold is getting tighter, man. See, what y'all, you know, what these people don't understand, the people in this world, they have no idea, they have no idea what's getting ready to pop off, man. All right, the time of hell and trouble that's getting ready to come upon this earth, especially here in America, man. Do you understand? All right, the type of hell and chaos and misery that's coming to this place because the pride of this place. You know, yesterday I was out on the highways, you know, preaching and teaching Revelation 18, which talks about the destruction of America. And when you read that chapter, it goes into, because of the pride of this place, you know, this place is going to see famine and widowhood and death. You know, great hell and chaos and destruction and death and famine and misery and suffering and anguish and sorrow is coming upon all this world. But the greatest misery, the greatest sorrow, the greatest anguish, the greatest death, the greatest pain that's going to fall upon this earth is going to be here in America, man. All right? Because the Heavenly Father hates this place with a very great hatred, a passionate hatred. You understand? So, you know, ultimately this is all done by the Heavenly Father, you know? But the Lord is using the elites, you know, the wicked, you know, to put a chokehold on this, man. You know, to increase things, man, so the Lord's will can be fulfilled. You know, because the Lord controls all things. You know? And the wicked being the wicked, you know, they're doing what they're doing because, you know, they're causing this hell and chaos, you know, to collapse the dollar, to bring hell and economic collapse and trouble upon this earth, man. All right, so they could usher in that mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. You understand? All right. We've been telling you and warning you also about the RFID microchip. All right. Being the mark of the beast that the Bible speaks of. Teaching and prophesying unto you, man. So you should know. You should know, man. You know? There isn't, oh, I didn't know. Well, you should have listened, man. You should have took heed. You shouldn't have been scoffing and scorning. Right? You shouldn't have been listening to your pastor, man. You should have been listening to us, the Israelites that are out on the highways and hedges teaching and prophesying. First and foremost, the Israelites of Great Millstone and the ones that teach in like manner. All right? So let's keep going, man. All right? It says the war, I read this paragraph again. It says, the war has already disrupted shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical maritime choke points. Renewed fighting, especially if UAE involvement becomes public, could further paralyze energy flows and raise economic pressure on the United States and its allies. Woo! All right? Economic pressure. That's what's coming to this place, man. You people are getting ready to suffer hard, man. All right? We've been teaching you and prophesying to you a very great time of trouble. Painful trouble. Right? It says Trump's dismissal of Iran's response to a U.S. peace proposal over the weekend adds to the uncertainty, signaling that diplomatic efforts may be losing ground. All right? And this is all, the Lord is doing this, man. All right. It says, according to the journal, the UAE carried out a series of military strikes on, carried out a series of military strikes against Iran that it has not publicly acknowledged, all right, including an early April attack on a refinery on Iran's Lavan Island in the Persian Gulf. The strike sparked a major fire and knocked much of the facility's capacity offline for months. People familiar with the matter told the publication Iran described the blast at the time as an enemy attack and responded with a barrage of missile and drone strikes against the UAE and Kuwait. Iranian forces have targeted the Emirates, heavily during the war, launching more than 2,800 missiles and drones at UAE territory. Woo! All right, according to the journal, more than at any other country. And the scriptures talk about how Iran's going to come with that great power, man, especially against America. See, Iran hasn't shown you people nothing yet, man. They got something in store, stupid, retarded, right? Because we know according to prophecy, when you read 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, when it talks about the Carmanians, right? The Carmanians being the Iranians today. It says how they shall come through like the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come, and join battle with them to destroy the land of the Assyrians, which is the land of America. It's not talking about the actual land of Assyrians. It's talking about America. Iran plays a very great major part in end time biblical prophecy. All right. Iran plays a very great part in America's destruction. And that's why you see what's going on right now in the world with Iran, Israel, all right, the U.S., all right, Russia. All these nations are mentioned in the Bible, and they all play a very great part in end time biblical prophecy. And we've been teaching y'all this, man, prophesying this unto y'all. Have we not? Then shall they know a prophet has been among them. Woo! Right? So let's keep reading. It says Iran described the blast at the time as an enemy attack and responded. We already read that, all right? Let's go down. It says the attacks disrupted air traffic, tourism, a real estate in the Emirates, and triggered layoffs, prompting what Gulf officials described as a fundamental shift in Abu Dhabi's strategic outlook. The UAE now views Iran as a rogue actor, threatening its economic model and internal stability. All right, the U.S. was not opposed and has quietly welcomed the UAE's participation. All right, yeah, participation, right? It says, according to people familiar with the matter cited by the journal, all right, Pentagon and White House officials declined to comment to the paper directly on the strikes. All right, let's read a little more. It says, Trump, meanwhile, all right, said Monday the ceasefire was on life support after rejecting Iran's response, all right, to a U.S. proposal aimed at restarting negotiations. All right, Tehran, yeah, bro, that's the spirit of the Lord. Things have to keep intensing and intensifying, bro. Come on, man. No peace is coming. Straight war. Nothing but death and hell and chaos. Right? On a very high, great, and grand scale that this earth has never seen before is coming. Like the scriptures say, men shall be afraid. Listen, bro. You know, the people of this earth are getting ready to tremble. I'm talking about tremble. All right? The scriptures say men's hearts shall fail them for the fear of looking after those things that are coming upon the earth, right? Because pretty soon these nations, all right, are going to hear that, other nations have been hit with nuclear missiles. They're going to hear that millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people died in seconds. And the people of this earth are going to tremble. All right? Their spirit is going to leave them just from hearing it, man. They're not going to believe their ears or their eyes, man. The people of this earth are going to tremble on a whole nother level. Their hearts are going to drop and sink into their damn asshole, man. Right? It says Tehran's reply called for compensation for war damage, an end to sanctions, recognition of Iranian sovereignty over the Strait of Hormuz, a guarantee of no further attacks, and the lifting of a U.S. naval blockade on Iran's ports. Trump wrote on Truth Social on Sunday, "I have just read the response from Iran's so-called representatives. I don't like it. Totally unacceptable." Right? It says on Monday in the White House, he called Iran's reply a piece of garbage that he didn't even finish reading. While Iran, he added, had earlier said that it would allow the U.S. to come in and help extract its highly enriched uranium. In its latest proposal, it went back on that. All right. They changed their mind because they didn't put it in the paper, he said. All right. In an earlier post on Sunday, Trump wrote, "For 47 years, the Iranians have been tapping us along, keeping us waiting, killing our people with their roadside bombs, destroying protest." Man. It says, Esau Edom was a damn hypocrite, man. It says, and recently wiping out 42,000 innocent, unarmed protesters and laughing at our now great again country. They will be laughing no longer, right? So you see what's going on. I'll read this little bit right here. It says diplomatic pressure is expected to intensify. Yeah. Right? It says in the coming days as Washington weighs whether to continue pursuing negotiations or prepare for a prolonged conflict involving additional regional actors, right? So, listen, man, we're getting ready to see what's going to come of this, man. All right? So this is why I'm reporting on it, man. So you know what's going on. You know what time we're living in. All right? You're not living under a rock, right? See, we're living in that time where nuclear missiles are getting ready to be dropped, on this earth like we have been prophesying. All right? And Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect. We get beamed up. I get to see you brothers. You diligent and you sincere brothers, man. We all get to hug each other, man. Gulf states are also likely to recess, all right, their roles or recess their roles, right? Let me read this one part again. It says diplomatic pressure is expected to intensify in the coming days as Washington weighs whether to continue pursuing negotiations or prepare for a prolonged conflict involving additional regional actors. Yeah, things are going to keep going, man. All right, because this famine has to come, this great chaos and this time of trouble has to come upon America, man. All right, Gulf states are also likely to recess, all right, their roles with analysts warning that Iran may attempt to deepen divisions among Arab monarchies, even as fighting threatens to spill further across the region. All right, so you see what's going on, man. All right, I come to report this to y'all, man. All right, to let you know what's happening, what's going on, to let you know what time we're living in. All right, to let you know we're living in a time of prophecy, the time that we have been prophesying about, the time that Yahawashi spoke about, man. You know? And the prophets are here today, man. Warning you and prophesying and been telling y'all this. All right, and we're living in that time where we're seconds away, man, from Yahawashi cracking that sky, from nuclear missiles being shot from one end to the earth to the other. The time that, great hell and misery and suffering and mourning and anguish is getting ready to come upon the face of America on a very high, great, and grand scale. All right, so, with that being said, Lord willing, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahawashi Ratazah, this lesson was edifying. This reporting was edifying. What's going on, man. Call Halalyam, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahawashi, Bahashim, Rakah Quitash. All right, so on to the next one. Shalom, shalom.